The sky over the landing field fractured into geometry as the imperial carriers descended, folding space like careful origami performed by someone with very expensive anger. Sirens wailed, commanders shouted, civilians prayed to anything that had ever answered a call. Elias checked the time, sighed, and moved 2 steps to the left so a panicking officer wouldn't run him over. "Well," the officer gasped, armor trying very hard to look heroic while its wearer absolutely did not, "this is it, the end. We are dramatically doomed." "Are we?" Elias asked. "I had soup plans." Above them, the largest vessel peeled open and lowered a bridge of white light. War constructs drifted down first, elegant, silent, shaped like arguments nobody won. Behind them came the court, banners unfurling in gravity that politely appeared just to help them make an entrance. At the center walked the queen. She looked almost human. 2 eyes balanced grace, the kind of presence that rearranged priorities. But her ears were long, sweeping back in luminous curves, twitching with data none of the humans could see. Jewels burned along their edges, each one a captured surrender. A general near Elias swallowed loudly. "Do not make eye contact." "I wasn't planning to apply for anything," Elias said. The queen's gaze moved across the kneeling crowd, cataloging species, threat levels, acceptable losses. Her ears angled toward whispers from orbit, from analysts, from probability engines humming hymns of inevitable victory. They slid past Elias, paused, returned. A drone drifted forward and projected a lattice of scanning light around him. It hummed, reconsidered its life choices, and displayed a polite line of text. Insignificant. The drone seemed proud of this. The queen looked relieved. Her voice flowed across the field, amplified without visible effort. "People of Earth, your resistance concludes. Compliance ensures survival. Non-compliance ensures education." Someone fainted with commitment. Elias raised a hand. "Quick question, is education compulsory?" Several alien officers turned, scandalized. The queen's ears lifted, curious despite herself. "You address an empress." "Right," Elias said. "Sorry, big day, nerves, continue." She should have dismissed him again. Everything in her training suggested he was background radiation with shoes. But there was a steadiness in the way he stood, like a man waiting for a bus he trusted would eventually feel guilty. Her strategist murmured, "Probability of relevance remains negligible." "Excellent," she said. High above, the fleet completed targeting solutions. Weapons unfolded like metal flowers rehearsing tragedy. The air tasted of endings. Elias looked up, squinting. They always go for the dramatic bloom. Subtlety is underrated. A captain barked, "On your knees." "I'm comfortable, thanks." The queen felt irritation ripple through her composure. Fear was a language. This human was declining to speak it, which was rude and possibly contagious. She prepared the final command. Then every implant along her ears flared crimson. Priority override. Her supreme commander appeared in hard light, pale, rigid, as if someone had just explained humans to him again. "Your Majesty," he said, "withdraw immediately." Silence detonated across the field. The queen blinked once. "Explain." "No time, retreat." Her court erupted, officers protested, algorithms screamed, the commander's voice cracked. "That one, the human, do not engage." Every gaze turned to Elias. He blinked back. "What did I do?" The commander whispered, almost reverent, "That is the problem." Elias rubbed the back of his neck. "Look, if this is about the moon thing, statistically that was teamwork." The fleet hesitated, then began powering engines for departure with the frantic dignity of history trying to walk backward. The queen stared at the most ordinary being she had ever seen. Her ears trembled. For the first time in centuries, certainty requested a transfer. Elias gave her a small, apologetic shrug. "Hi." Engines that had arrived like judgment began, with profound embarrassment, to sound like reconsideration. Across the landing field, humans slowly lifted their heads. Soldiers blinked at targeting reticles vanishing from their visors. Someone coughed, unsure whether it was safe to finish being terrified. Elias pointed upward. Are they leaving? A lieutenant checked 3 different screens, then a 4th for emotional support. They are absolutely leaving. Wow, Elias said. I should schedule invasions more often. The Queen did not move. Authority required stillness, especially when the universe was misbehaving. Around her, aides whispered into tight beams of light, arguing with orbit, with doctrine, with several chapters of imperial history that had always worked perfectly until 5 seconds ago. The Supreme Commander's projection flickered. Your Majesty, I repeat, disengage. You will explain, she replied, each word ironed flat. Respectfully, he said, which in military language meant panic wearing a tie, we have encountered this human classification before. Elias raised a finger. Hey, that sounds promising. The commander continued, outwardly negligible, mild posture, frequently holding beverages. I had coffee last time, Elias admitted. Catastrophic consequences followed. Murmurs rippled through the court. Tactical officers brought up archives, probabilities unraveled, footnotes began screaming. The Queen's long ears angled toward the commander. Define catastrophic. A pause. We are still defining it. The definitions keep resigning. Elias tried to help. In fairness, you did attack first. We deployed a polite warning moon, the commander snapped. It was falling, Elias said. Very politely. Humans nearby began to stand. One of them whispered, is he negotiating? Another whispered back, I think he's apologizing. The Queen studied him, searching for weapons, signals, armies hiding behind dramatic timing. She found a man who looked like he might forget where he parked reality. This was unacceptable. You, she said, focusing on Elias, what authority do you possess? He glanced behind himself as if a more qualified human might be hiding there. I once chaired a neighborhood meeting. The commander made a noise that suggested trauma. Your Majesty, their informal leaders are the worst ones. Elias brightened. Oh, we prefer volunteer disasters. Fleet icons continued turning away. Massive cruisers rotated with all the grace of guilty continents. The Queen felt control sliding, and control was the one thing Empire promised in bulk. If you retreat, she warned the commander, our enemies will smell weakness. Our enemies, the commander said carefully, are already forwarding sympathy messages. A technician near Elias muttered, we're getting gift baskets from 3 rival civilizations. Nice, Elias said. Do they know I'm lactose intolerant? The Queen stepped closer. Guards shifted, uncertain whether protecting her involved running or saluting or inventing religion. You are not armed, she said. Emotionally, I'm doing my best. You command no visible force. We outsource. Her ears trembled with incoming data, simulations branching into madness. In most of them, engaging the human resulted in paperwork that lasted generations. The commander leaned toward her through the projection. Majesty, I beg you, distance is victory. Elias offered an awkward wave. I'm fine with distance. Big fan. For a long moment, Queen and human regarded each other while history hyperventilated. Finally she asked quietly, if I remain, what happens? Elias considered. Honestly, hard to predict. Someone will improvise, it'll get weird, you'll hate it. The commander whispered, he is being merciful. The Queen, ruler of systems, conqueror of 1,000 suns, realized she had been given a gift rarer than triumph. A warning. Her fleet continued to back away. She had not yet decided whether she would. No one breathed in a coordinated way. The fleet maintained its extremely dignified backward panic. Officers in orbit tried to look tactical about it, which mostly involved shouting synonyms for reverse with confidence. The Queen remained where she was. Her advisors began transmitting suggestions directly into her implants. Retreat. Pause. Pretend this is a ceremonial maneuver. Blame gravity. Promote someone. Demote someone else harder. Her ears tilted toward Elias again, as if he were emitting a frequency labeled asterisk complication. You told me to leave, she said. Recommendation, Elias replied. I don't like to micromanage empires. Bad hobby. Yet my supreme commander fears you. People contain multitudes, Elias said. I contain very confusing ones. Behind him, human soldiers formed the loosest defensive line in military history. One of them whispered, "Is this the part where we charge heroically?" Another shook his head. "No, this is the part where he talks and physics apologizes." The queen took a step closer. Guards made distressed sounds. "You stand without protection," she said. "I moisturize," Elias offered. Her stare could have ionized oceans. It instead produced paperwork in 3 departments. "Records indicate," she continued, "that a human fitting your biological pattern was present at the collapse of Vierks." Elias winced. "Oh, yeah, an entire battle group vanished." "They didn't vanish," he said. "They achieved sudden elsewhere." Several alien analysts fainted professionally. The commander's projection pulsed. "Majesty, disengage. I am receiving fresh simulations. In one of them we attempt conversation and somehow lose 6 cruisers." "We are already conversing," she snapped. "Yes," he said, "that is the simulation." Elias raised his hands. "Look, I don't mean for things to escalate. Humans just participate aggressively." "Your species breaks patterns," the queen said. "We recycle," Elias corrected. "Very eco-friendly chaos." A young alien officer leaned toward the queen. "Permission to deploy probability dampeners." The commander shouted, "We tried that, the dampeners unionized." The humans perked up at this. "Good for them," someone said. The queen felt the foundations of certainty doing yoga. She examined the man again. No armor, no entourage, a tiny stain on his sleeve that might have been lunch or destiny. "Why are you calm?" she demanded. Elias considered the question with unfair sincerity. "Because if I panic, someone braver will step in, and they're usually worse." A murmur ran through both armies. The queen's ears filled with whispers of history, human last stands, human breakthroughs, human disasters that politely reclassified themselves as victories later. "You weaponize inevitability," she said. "We prefer opportunity," Elias replied. "I mean, sure, sometimes opportunity is on fire." In orbit, another squadron rotated away. One pilot transmitted, "Tell my larvae I retreated strategically." "Strategically," echoed 3,000 voices. The queen ignored them. "If I ordered my forces to resume attack, what would you do?" Elias inhaled slowly. People nearby leaned away from him as if he might expand. "I'd ask you not to," he said. "That is all." "Well," he added, "then I'd start figuring it out. And once humans start figuring it out, the galaxy tends to need a lie-down." The commander covered his face. "Majesty, please." The queen met Elias' eyes. She expected triumph, threat, ancient hunger. She found concern. "Why are you helping me avoid this?" she asked. He shrugged. "War is expensive. Also, I promised my friend I'd help them move tomorrow." Even the wind paused to reconsider existence. The queen realized with a chill that carried respect inside it that he was not boasting. He was budgeting. Her ears trembled. "Human," she said. "What are you?" Elias offered a tired smile. "Ma'am, I'm the guy everyone sends when they hope nothing happens." Across the stars, entire fleets flinched. The silence stretched so long that several tactical systems attempted to fill it with helpful apocalypse forecasts. None of them were comforting. One recommended knitting. The queen dismissed the projections with a flick of thought. "Open every archive concerning humanity," she ordered. Around her, consoles complied with the reluctant enthusiasm of doors opening onto storms. Files spilled forward. Campaigns where defeat had been mathematically certain right up until it developed anxiety. Fleets lost to maneuvers described afterward as "honestly, we're not sure." Rebellions that had begun with bad coffee and ended with constitutional amendments. Her ears drank in the data. She watched humans patch ships with incompatible optimism. She watched them hold lines that were already memories. She watched them laugh while doing it, which unsettled the analysts most of all. Elias stood patiently while the greatest empire in known space binge-read his species. A human soldier leaned toward him. Are we famous? Infamous, Elias corrected. Better marketing. The Supreme Commander reappeared, smaller now, as if fear had negotiated a discount. Majesty, you see why distance remains our friend. I see chaos, she said. Yes, he whispered. That's them behaving. More files opened. A human diplomat smiling at a surrender ceremony moments before the surrender reversed itself out of embarrassment. A human engineer informing physics that it was trying very hard and should sit down. The Queen felt awe creeping in, unwelcome and magnificent. You survive by accident, she said. Elias shook his head. We survive on purpose. The accidents just get documentaries. An advisor croaked. They win wars they admit are terrible ideas. Especially those, Elias said. The Queen focused on him again. You arrived alone. I carpooled emotionally. That is not a thing. Ma'am, Elias said gently, for humans it's absolutely a thing. In orbit, the withdrawal had slowed. Ships hovered at the edge of commitment, like gamblers reconsidering whether the table was haunted. The commander cleared his throat. Majesty, morale reports indicate our crews are experiencing historical flashbacks to events that have not yet occurred. Future trauma, Elias said sympathetically. We get that a lot. The Queen stepped closer, compelled by a gravity she could not assign numbers to. Why does your presence trigger retreats? Bad branding, he said. Once people assume you're capable of miracles, they stop testing the return policy. She processed that. You could destroy us, she said. Elias made a face. That sounds exhausting. You would if necessary. He hesitated. Humans nearby watched him with the quiet trust of a species that had outsourced hope to stubborn individuals before. If you gave me no other choice, he admitted. The commander whispered, Majesty. The Queen raised a hand, silencing orbit. For centuries, she said, we believed power announced itself with spectacle. Elias glanced at the retreating armada. You did make a dramatic entrance. We perfected it. Very sparkly, he agreed. And yet, she continued, you stand here wearing inconvenience and my empire is reversing. I told you, Elias said, we get weird. One of her younger officers leaned toward her. Majesty, permission to redefine victory. Denied, she said softly. I am still looking at it. She studied the human who claimed to be the one sent when everyone hoped nothing would happen. Her archives insisted that when such humans arrived, everything happened. Why stay? She asked him. Why not command us to flee entirely? Elias shrugged again, almost apologizing for the motion. Because you might choose better without me pushing. The commander exhaled as if someone had removed a star from his chest. The Queen felt something fracture. Not authority, not pride, but assumption. Perhaps power was not the ability to crush. Perhaps it was the ability to leave room. Her ears lowered, thoughtful. Human, she said, if I decide not to attack, what will you do? Elias looked relieved in a way that felt dangerously sincere. I'll go home, he said. I'm really behind on laundry. Several warships updated their threat assessments to include detergent. The Queen almost laughed. Almost. History leaned forward, waiting to see if she would. The Queen let the quiet remain until it stopped feeling like a threat and started feeling like a choice. Her fleet hung at the edge of the system, engines murmuring, commanders pretending they were absolutely here on purpose. Reports streamed toward her, each one asking the same terrified question in a different font. Elias waited. Humans had begun the cautious process of uncurling from terror into curiosity. Someone passed him a can of something fizzy. He opened it. The sound echoed like a diplomatic incident. The Supreme Commander spoke first. Majesty, the Armada awaits your order. She watched the human take a careful sip, as if the galaxy were not currently balanced on his posture. For centuries, she said, we have measured strength by what breaks. Elias nodded. Very popular metric. And yet you stand here offering us the opportunity not to be broken. I like opportunities, he said. They usually complain less than consequences. A few of her officers made strained noises that might one day evolve into laughter. The queen felt the weight of empire shift, searching for new equilibrium. Her ears processed the final projections. Engage. Devastation, followed by legends, followed by humans arriving everywhere with memorial plaques and unnerving forgiveness. Withdraw. Humiliation, survival, the terrifying requirement to rethink everything. She found to her surprise that she preferred survival. Supreme Commander, she said, yes, Majesty, stand down, full retreat, mark this system as protected by professional courtesy. The commander sagged with relief. At once. Across the void, ships pivoted with enthusiasm bordering on gratitude. Weapons folded themselves away like bad ideas. A cheer rose from the humans, uncertain but hopeful. Elias blinked. Oh, that's good. That's very good. The queen looked at him. You expected otherwise. I always prepare for otherwise, he admitted. It's a hobby. You are not what I was taught to fear, she said. Most paperwork isn't, he replied. Despite herself, she laughed then, a bright, startled sound. Her court froze, then carefully joined in like people stepping onto unfamiliar gravity. The moment rewrote things. She regarded the man again.